this week's goal show, a meeting of giants in the Giants Stadium. Brazil meets Argentina in the United States. World Cup qualifying from South America and Asia. Ronaldinho talks about his latest move after walking out on Flamengo. And amidst the match-fixing mayhem in Italy, Sampdoria bid for an immediate return to the top flight. First to the east coast of the USA.
With Euro 2012 underway, the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey provided an intriguing distraction on Saturday as Brazil met Argentina in a friendly. A crowd of more than 80,000 inside a venue best known for being the home of the New York Giants American football team. Looking ahead to the London Olympics, Brazil's head coach Mano Menezes opted to field a team comprised largely of under-23 players. 20-year-old Santos forward Neymar led their attack and set up the opening goal. Scored by Vasco da Gama midfielder Romulo midway through the first half. Argentina's Alejandro Sabella named a near full-strength side, and with Barcelona's Lionel Messi leading their attack, there was always a potent threat. So it proved just after the half-hour mark when Messi levelled in typically clinical fashion after latching on to Gonzalo Higuain's pass. Santos goalkeeper Rafael Cabral was picking the ball from his goal again 3 minutes later, as Messi showed once more why he's rated as the best of his generation. Argentina held that lead until half-time, but Brazil's second-half response caught them off guard. First Internacional midfielder Oscar made it 2-2. And then Sergio Romero's error saw Porto forward Hulk put Brazil ahead for the second time. Angered by his side's demise, Sabella introduced Sergio Aguero, and the Manchester City striker made an immediate impact. His corner setting up Napoli defender Federico Fernandez to make it 3-3 with less than 15 minutes left. Messi's boundless energy continued to test Brazil's young team, with Rafael forced into an acrobatic save as the contest neared its end. Not to be outdone, the World Footballer of the Year was to have the final say. His run from the right going unchecked. His left foot shot unstoppable. Messi celebrates his 25th birthday on the 24th of June. He'll no doubt be reflecting on a season which has seen him score an astonishing 82 goals for club and country in 11 months. Ezequiel Lavezzi and Marcelo were sent off as both teams ended the contest with 10 men. But this was Messi's night. The end of an extraordinary, record-breaking campaign for the world's best player.
Argentina's first priority is to ensure their place at the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Their inactivity in qualifying at the weekend provided their closest rivals an opportunity to knock them off the top of the South American qualifying group. Uruguay were one of the sides looking to leapfrog Argentina as they welcomed Peru to the Estadio Centenario in Montevideo. The 2010 World Cup semi-finalists were the only side still unbeaten, with 2 wins and 2 draws from their opening 4 qualifying games. However, they'd only managed a draw at home to Venezuela in their previous game and were up against a Peru side eager to haul themselves off the bottom. It was Uruguay who took the lead after 15 minutes and in fortuitous circumstances, with Sebastian Coates's downward header judged to have crossed the line. Television replays proving inconclusive. Peru were still reeling from that when Uruguay doubled their advantage on the half-hour mark. Luis Suarez's angled drive was spilled by Diego Penny, into the path of Maxi Pereira, who reacted quickest. The home fans' celebrations were to be short-lived, as Peru pulled a goal back just 5 minutes before the break. Uruguay defender Diego Godin powerfully heading Yoshimar Yoten's cross into his own net. The goal coming at a pivotal time for the visitors and giving them a much-needed boost ahead of the second half. And early pressure at the start of that second period finally told, as Godin failed to clear, allowing Paulo Guerrero the opportunity to bring Peru level. However, Uruguay bounced back and got the chance to restore their lead when Jesus Alvarez kicked out at Edison Cavani in the penalty area. But Penny was more than equal to Diego Forlan's spot kick, producing a fine reflex save. One thing that Uruguay have built their recent success on is their resilience in adversity, and only 8 minutes later, they edged back in front. Christian Rodriguez heading the ball home just past the hour mark to make it 3-2 to Uruguay. This time it was for good, as Uruguay strengthened their defensive resolve and restricted Peru's forward surges. A neat combination involving Gaston Ramirez, Cavani and substitute Sebastian Egoren at the end wrapped things up as they completed a 4-2 victory.
On Saturday, Chile had gone into their match away to Venezuela, with Claudio Borghi's men knowing victory would see them go top of the South American group. They were up against a determined Venezuela side, though. They'd been exceeding expectations so far in qualifying after reaching the semi-finals of the 2011 Copa America. Here, they frustrated Chile. Eugenio Mena's low strike at goal was one of few chances that Chile were able to produce in the opening exchanges of the second half. With a stalemate on the cards, though, Chile showed why they hadn't lost an international match since mid-February. Matias Hernandez breaking the deadlock 5 minutes from full-time after Alexis Sanchez had picked out the midfielder's forward surge. Chile then made sure of the win in stoppage time, as this neat interchange between Sebastian Pinto and Charles Aranguiz saw the latter slot home. The 2-0 victory securing Chile's 4th consecutive win. With Argentina not in action in qualifying, that victory took Chile a point clear at the top of the South American group. Uruguay are in second place, while Venezuela are still well in contention despite their loss. The team that finishes 5th will enter an intercontinental playoff with a team from the CONCACAF region.
Over in Asia, the decisive 4th round of World Cup qualifying is underway. 2 groups of 5 teams vying for the 4 automatic qualification places. Among the favourites to progress, Japan. They hosted Jordan on Friday, eager to steal a march on their Group B rivals. Goals from Ryuichi Maeda and Koshike Honda put Alberto Zaccaroni's team in command early on. And after Jordan had seen Abdeladib Salim sent off, CSKA Moscow star Honda added another. Shinji Kagawa then fired in a 4th before half-time, giving Manchester United fans a glimpse of what's to come from him. Kagawa is expected to complete a move from Borussia Dortmund to United in the coming weeks. After the break, a foul on Maeda saw Japan awarded a penalty, and Honda completed his hat-trick.
Honda strikes and it's goal number 5.
Yuzo Kurihara added a late 6th as Japan underlined their superiority.
Elsewhere in Group B, Australia travelled to Oman for their first match in the final phase. With a home game against Japan coming up on Tuesday, the Socceroos were keen to begin strongly. But in temperatures peaking at 35 degrees Celsius in Muscat, they found the going tough. Long-range shots from David Carney and Carl Valeri barely testing Oman's goalkeeper Ali Al-Habsi in the first half. Paul Le Guen's Oman were stronger after half-time, with star forward Ahmad Al-Hosni at the heart of their attacks. He saw a volley flash wide of the target before being denied by a superb save from Mark Schwarzer. Substitute Archie Thompson, who scored 13 in Australia's famous 31-0 win against American Samoa in qualifying 11 years ago, then squandered this late opportunity to win the game, and it ended goalless.
Oh, what a chance!
Japan lead the way in Group B after 2 wins from 2 ahead of their midweek trip to Australia. The teams that finish in the top 2 places will qualify automatically for the 2014 World Cup, with the third-placed side entering an intercontinental playoff once this stage is completed next June.
In Asia's other qualifying group, South Korea are the favourites to finish top. They were in Doha on Friday, kicking off their Group A campaign against QATAR. With most of their squad made up of players from Asian club champions Al Sadd, one of them, striker Youssef Ahmad, fired them into a first-half lead. But 3 players who play for the same K-League side were to have the decisive say in this contest. Ulsan Hyundai's Lee Kyun-ho levelled the scores, and second-half strikes from teammates Kwak Tae-hui and then Kim Shin-wook saw South Korea take control with a 3-1 lead.
That's a great goal, and it's his first goal for his country.
Lee added a late 4th as South Korea joined Japan in highlighting their qualities as they target a place in Brazil. South Korea, the early pace setters in Group A, ahead of a midweek home game with Lebanon, who drew 1-1 with Uzbekistan on Friday. Following a 1-0 win over Uzbekistan in their opening game in the 4th phase, Iran will be hoping for more points from their midweek clash with QATAR in Tehran.
Coming up in part 2 of this week's goal show, Ronaldinho joins Atletico Mineiro and sets his sights on immediate success. And Sampdoria take on Varese in the Serie B playoff final. Welcome back to this week's goal show. Still to come, highlights from the latest round of games in the Campeonato Brasileiro. And the best of the action from the Serie B playoff final in Italy.
He remains one of the most famous footballers on the planet, but Ronaldinho's not been having the best of times recently, forced to take his career in a new direction after being left unpaid by Flamengo. The 32-year-old will wear the colours of Belo Horizonte-based club Atlético Mineiro for the remainder of the year, having walked out on his former employers.
Muito feliz, de poder estar aqui.
I'm really happy to be here and be able to see the amazing structure that this club has got. I'm trying to do my best for the city. One of the reasons to come here was the energy of the supporters. My dream has always been to play at great clubs. This is a good opportunity and I want to give my best.
It's 18 months now since Ronaldinho swapped Milan for Rio de Janeiro, ending a 10-year spell in Europe. The former World Player of the Year had enjoyed a reasonable amount of success with Flamengo, but a poor state championship campaign, an early exit from the Copa Libertadores, and a bad start to the new national season had brought unrest at the club. Weeks after being accused of arriving for training drunk, Ronaldinho sued Flamengo, claiming a lack of payment for 4 months, and he cancelled his contract with the club. 4 days later, he was being unveiled by Atlético Mineiro after signing a 6-month contract.
The only thing I want to say is thanks to everybody for bringing me here and thanks for the warm reception. I don't want to speak too much. I want to start playing really quickly. I want to bring Atletico happiness.
Ronaldinho scored in his final appearance for Flamengo, a 3-3 draw with Internacional, but he's not been without his critics in 2012. We'll hope his move to Atletico can help him stay in the thoughts of Brazil national team boss Mano Menezes.
When someone receives a lot of criticism, he starts to want to answer those questions, and I want to do that. The president here saw a good thing in me and invited me to come here to give my best to try to win the national title. The most important thing coming here was the trust of the president. I want to change my life being here.
Atlético Mineiro recently won their state championship title for the 41st time. It's 41 years since they last won the national title, which Ronaldinho will be hoping to try and help them win once again.
Ronaldinho's old club, Flamengo, hosted Coritiba on Saturday, seeking their first win of the new national championship season. The Rio Giants had drawn their opening 3 matches, with fans voicing their disapproval. Wagner Love settled the tension, scoring for Flamengo in the 6th minute, despite calls from Coritiba's players for offside. The 27-year-old's 4th for the club since returning to Brazil from CSKA Moscow. Flamengo doubled their lead not long afterwards, when Luis Antonio finished off a flowing move. But an exciting first half saw Coritiba hit back just 11 minutes later. Emerson's header keeping them in the game. The second half was a much closer contest until Flamengo won a stoppage-time free kick. Substitute Hernane was well placed in the area to capitalise on some sloppy defending and clinch the victory. No sign of any hangover from Ronaldinho's shock departure. Flamengo's first win of the campaign took them into the top half. Ronaldinho played the full 90 minutes as his new club, Atlético Mineiro, claimed a 1-0 victory at Palmeiras to extend their unbeaten run to 4 matches. That result briefly took them to the top of the table.
Italian football is shrouded in uncertainty at the moment. The country's latest match-fixing scandal, an unwelcome shadow cast over its most famous clubs. One of the teams under investigation is Sampdoria. They hosted Varese on Wednesday night in the first leg of this year's Serie B playoff final. Sampdoria were relegated from Serie A in 2011, only a year after qualifying for the Champions League. Eager for an immediate return, their long-serving captain Daniele Gastaldello headed them into a first-half lead. But that advantage lasted only 4 minutes. Varese, a team from the far north of the country, bidding to end a 37-year exile from the top flight, levelled in style. Argentine Emmanuel Rivas with a goal to saviour at the Stadio Luigi Ferraris. Sampdoria only managed to finish 6th in Serie B, some 16 points behind the automatic promotion places. They were back in front here shortly after half-time, when Pedro Obiang's long ball caused problems in the Varese defence, and Nicola Pozzi made it 2-1. Varese had to rebuild from the 6th tier of Italian football, following bankruptcy in 2004. They were only promoted to Serie B in 2010, after 25 years in the lower leagues. Giuseppe De Luca's goal had them on terms once more. However, Gastaldello was to have the final say in this enthralling game, heading in another corner to ensure Sampdoria of a slender lead ahead of the second leg.
That second leg took place on Saturday night at Varese's modest Franco Asala Stadium, their biggest home game in more than 3 decades. A huge occasion too for Sampdoria, just over 20 years on from their one and only appearance in a European Cup final. Desperate to recover the 1-goal deficit, Varese began strongly, and Neto Pereira's effort on the half-hour shuddered the Sampdoria crossbar. As time ticked by and with Varese becoming increasingly anxious, Gianvito Plasmati saw his late header go narrowly wide. Varese's eagerness was to cost them. Having waited patiently for a chance to strike in the second half, Sampdoria broke with purpose as the game edged towards its conclusion. Andrea Rispoli feeding Pozzi, and the former Italy under-21 striker finished in ruthless fashion to seal his side's triumphant return to Serie A after just 1 year away. Head coach Giuseppe Iachini only took over in mid-November, with Sampdoria stuttering in mid-table. Promotion has triggered a 1-year extension to the 48-year-old's contract with the club. So Iachini's team are promoted to Italy's top flight, along with Torino and Pescara.
With most teams given a week off because of the international fixtures, there was one sole Major League Soccer fixture played. It saw the Vancouver Whitecaps host Houston Dynamo, with both teams looking to climb their respective conference tables. Western Conference hopefuls, the Whitecaps, in their second season in MLS, took the lead through Jamaican Darren Mattocks, with the game just over 3 minutes old. Houston had no response to that, and another from Mattocks midway through the second half appeared to seal Vancouver's first win in 5 games. But a goal from Senegalese forward Makumbi Kanji hauled Houston back into it. It was to no avail, though, as Jordan Harvey finally sealed the points 2 minutes from time. The Canadians are up to 4th in the West, with the top 3 guaranteed an automatic playoff berth at the end of the regular season. Real Salt Lake lead the way, 29 points from 14 games, the best record of all 19 MLS sides this season. Houston remains 7th in the East, following their first loss in 5. DC United atop, closely followed by the New York Red Bulls, with a full programme of fixtures scheduled for the coming weekend.
Goal of the week time now. Last week's vote was won by Giovanni Dos Santos. The midfielder's goal for Mexico in their friendly against Brazil earned more than 45% of the votes in our global poll on goal.com.
Each week we ask you to select your favourite from 5 we picked out from the programme. Lionel Messi stole the headlines with his hat-trick for Argentina against Brazil in the United States. His second strike in that game is goal 1. The Barcelona star rounding the goalkeeper after some excellent creativity from his teammates.
Goal 2 is the strike that crowned Messi's remarkable season. His 82nd goal for club and country in the space of 11 months, sealing Argentina's dramatic late win at the MetLife Stadium.
Shinji Kagawa's effort for Japan against Jordan is goal 3. The Manchester United-bound midfielder giving fans in England a tantalising taste of what's to come.
The 4th goal in this week's selection is also from Asian World Cup qualifying. Kim Shin-wook's clinical finish for South Korea against Qatar.
And goal 5 is Emmanuel Rivas's for Varese against Sampdoria in the first leg of the Serie B playoff final. Sadly to no avail, as his team went on to lose the 2-legged climax to the second division season in Italy.
That's your list of 5 to pick from this week. To vote for your favourite, simply go to the video section on goal.com. And don't forget, you can also follow us on Twitter. On next week's Goal Show, the New York Red Bulls look to continue their promising form in Major League Soccer. And we're with a Chelsea legend as he reflects on the club's Champions League triumph.